Man Hour Nation, what a great NFL weekend we had. It was amazing. So amazing, in fact, that we have to talk about it. Of course we got to talk about it. Man, jeez. I don't know what to say. I'm lost for words. I am at loss for words right now. It is just crazy to me. But first.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
Every time we get out there and we start talking about the referees, it is okay to talk about the referees when it's, for the Cowboys or for the Chiefs or for somebody else. But it is not okay when you talk about, I don't know, let's say the Philadelphia Eagles. It is not okay when you say, hey, the refs. That's right, the refs gave the Eagles that win. Was it a trolling job by me? 100%. But it just shows the fact that people just love to hate the Dallas Cowboys. People love to hate the Kansas City Chiefs. People love to hate anybody that is, winning a lot of football games, unless you're the Philadelphia Eagles. Unless you are the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, on the flip side of the coin, did I think the referees missed some calls in the Buffalo Bills versus Eagles games? Yes. Yes, there's no question about it. Did the referees cost somebody said games? No. But the simple fact of the matter is, when I put the referees gave the Eagles the win in my game post, you all flipped shit. You all flipped shit. When I say flip shit, I mean talking like there's like over 2,000 comments, 1,000 interactions, and like 250 shares on that post. Gotcha. But guys, it is time for some live, raw, uncut NFL talk. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Bakasha here with the Man Hour. Sure to head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or check out the blog section as well. New blogs and new merch dropping each and every day. But that's right, the new merch is officially out there. We got the Man Hour graphic tee. It is out there. Mine is supposed to be in here tomorrow. I'll be rocking that thing every day because I freaking love that shirt. Put some hard work on that shirt. But we do got a great show for you guys lined up today. We got to talk about the Buffalo Bills. We got to talk about the Denver Broncos, the Baltimore Ravens, and of course the Philadelphia Eagles as well. There is a Monday night matchup as well. We got the Bears versus the Vikings. Who cares about that crap? But my man Jim Powell is in the chat. He says, "What's up? What's up, Jim?" He says, "Looks like somebody shit on your chest." Jim says, "Looks like somebody shit on my chest." Listen here, Jimmy. Just because the Kansas City Chiefs go into Arrowhead West, just because the Kansas City Chiefs decided to learn how to score in the second half, just because Patrick Mahomes said, "Hold my beer, look out, I will make Rashad Rice look like a baller," Somebody shit on my chest? Somebody shit on my chest? Man, shut your damn mouth, boy. We own the West. Roll with my Mahomies. That's what it says. Roll with the Mahomies is the hoodie. You guys can get that over at manhourradio.com as well. That's a part of the old, merchandise page. Merchandise page. But Jim, thank you, man. Thank you for tuning in today. If you guys are here today, give me a hashtag ManHourLive. We are streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, and the Tiki-Taki. All those people over at Tiki-Taki. Guys, if you're watching this, let me know. We're trying something out here. We'll see if this works. It is definitely not liking my encoding on my computer. It keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down. But it is what it is. Also, guys, if you are going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, of course, iTunes as well. It was a setup. Anyways, listen tab over at manhourradio.com, manhour.co. Either way, check it out, guys. We are live, raw, uncut NFL talk. I'm going to end this TikTok live here. It is messing with my mojo. It's messing with my screens going on. But guys, it is Way or No Way Monday here. It is simple. If you guys are new here, Way or No Way Monday is very, very simple. We put out a statement out there when we determine if it's a way, I agree, or if it's a no way, I disagree. So, for example here, way or no way, Hoffy is the best looking person on Man Hour Live here in the morning. And I'm going to say no way. I've worked very, very hard on my looks. I have had scars on my face. I have had broken fingers. I've broken my nose. I've broken the cartilage around my face just so I could look that damn good. So no way Hoffy is the best looking player. No, I'm totally kidding. But it is way or no way here, guys. And let's go ahead and get into the first way or no way of the day. I had the new setup, so I'm kind of getting used to everything, guys. I already figured out I need to move the mixer over here in my mouth. So basically my right hand's doing everything. My left hand is free, and I don't like that. But way or no way, first way or no way of the day. We're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills and the Eagles. It was an extreme battle to the very end. The Eagles ultimately came out on top with the overtime victory. Jalen Hurts found the end of the fifth time in that day. But I want to talk about the Buffalo Bills. Right now, the Buffalo Bills are sitting at 6-6 on the season, and they're sitting in the 10th playoff spot in the AFC. With that being said, since the firing of Ken Dorsey a couple weeks ago, the Buffalo Bills have looked like the old Buffalo Bills. Can we say that? They're looking good. They're looking dynamic. They're looking like a team that, I might want to mess with. So way or no way, guys, are the Buffalo Bills a playoff team? Wow. The tough thing about this is that the Buffalo Bills have a very, very toughest schedule moving forward. They play a team, the best team in the NFL and in the Kansas City Chiefs next week. Then they play the Dallas Cowboys. And then they play a true wild card team in the freaking Chargers. We don't know nothing about the Chargers. We don't know if they're good. We don't know if they're bad. All we know is that they can lose 3-point games. Then they play the Patriots, which is a division foe. And then they play the Dolphins, which is the division foe. So sitting at 6-6 right now, guys, they're probably going to need 3, if not 4 wins to get into the playoffs. Can they get 4 wins out of their last 5? Absolutely. Absolutely. I can see them beating the Miami Dolphins. I can see them beating the Patriots. I can see them beating the Chargers. I also can see them beating the Dallas Cowboys. Hell, I can even see them beating the Kansas City Chiefs. However, with that being said, there are other teams that are in front of them. The Steelers, the Colts, the Browns, the Broncos, the Texans, that all need to basically help the Buffalo Bills out. They need to help the Buffalo Bills out by losing some games. They need to basically the Buffalo Bills need to win out, and the rest of the teams above them need to lose for the Buffalo Bills to make it to the playoffs. And I don't see that happening. No way. No way. I don't see the Buffalo Bills as a playoff team right now. However, let me put a caveat on this. However, if the Buffalo Bills make the playoffs, if somehow they slide in as a 7th seed, if somehow, some way, they are doing their thing over there and they slide in there, right? This is a team you do not want to face in the playoffs. After the last couple weeks, guys, the Buffalo Bills have been doing some really, really good things. They are playing some good football. They were battling with one of the best teams in the NFL in the Eagles. We'll talk about the Eagles here in a little bit. But as a 6-6 team right now, I do not see the Buffalo Bills making the playoffs. Guys, in the comments below, this is Way or No Way Monday here. Let me know, is it a way or is it a no way? Are the Buffalo Bills making the playoffs? WB Ant is in the chat. He says, good morning. Weekend was great. My Ravens won and I won $100 on FanDuel. How was y'all's weekend? Listen, anytime the Kansas City Chiefs can beat the Las Vegas Raiders, it's a great weekend, baby. It's a great weekend. We're going to talk about your Ravens here, Ant, coming up. We are going to be talking about how great the Baltimore Ravens are right now. Jim says, what was the question again? I couldn't hear it over the loudness of that shirt. Rolling with my homies, baby. Way or no way, are the Buffalo Bills a playoff team? Ant says the Bills are done. Their remaining schedule isn't easy. They may beat KC, though. As the like I was saying, Ant, like the Buffalo Bills schedule right now on paper does not look easy. You are correct. However, if the Buffalo Bills played like they played last night versus the Philadelphia Eagles and the week prior, and their offense continues to get better and better and better, they can definitely beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They can definitely beat Super Bowl favorites Dallas Cowboys. They can definitely beat the Chargers and the Patriots and the Dolphins. They can definitely win 5 in a row and make a nice little playoff push. Either way, they still need help. Actually, hang on. If they win 5 in a row, let me pull it up. If they win 5 in a row, that puts them at 11-6 on the season. If they win 5 in a row, that's 11-6 on the season. A win over the division-leading Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins are sitting right now at 8 wins. So let's pull up Miami Dolphins' schedule. Now, basically, if the Miami Dolphins do not win 3 games of their next 5, they might lose the division. But they play the Commanders, they play the Titans, they play the Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, and Bills. So let's switch gears a little bit here. Excuse me. Let's switch gears a little bit here, and let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. I do not have them pulled up whatsoever. But the Miami Dolphins, their schedule isn't very easy moving forward, right? They do play the Titans, Jets, and Commanders in the next 3 weeks, but then they play the Cowboys, and then they play the Ravens, and then they play the Buffalo Bills. Now, are the Miami Dolphins in a must-win situation these next 3 weeks, or do they have to win these next 3 games versus the Commanders, Titans, and Jets? Do they have to lock the division up right now before that Week 18 matchup versus the Buffalo Bills? Way or no way? Holy crap! I didn't even think that the Buffalo Bills could even have a chance to make a division championship push. But if they win their next 5 in a row, meaning the Buffalo Bills, that puts them at 11 wins. If the Miami Dolphins drop to the Buffalo Bills, drop to the Ravens, which I think they will, drop to the Cowboys, which I think they will, that gives them 11 wins. Wow, is this Week 18 matchup coming up to be one of the, like, a must-see TV game? Buffalo Bills versus Miami Dolphins? At least the Dolphins are at home. Whoa. Way or no way, guys, do the Miami Dolphins have to win these next 3 games to win the division? I'm going to go with way on that one. That is away. Holy crap. Miami Dolphins, y'all on the hot seat. Win some football games, baby. Beat these losing teams. David says, you sound retarded. Thanks, David. You sound about retarded. Looks like someone threw up on your face. Well, that's awful nice of you to say, David, because this is coming from a guy that, I'm not going to dog your pitcher. Sorry, David. But sorry that you think somebody threw up on my face. That is why we're on a podcast forum. So if you want to listen to us on podcast forum, check us out on iTunes, Spotify, of course, iHeartRadio. And you wouldn't have to look at somebody throwing up on my face. Fucking douchebag. I can say what I want because it's my fucking show, David. Stick it in your ass, boy. I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. Jim says, 3 best teams is the Eagles. The best team is the Eagles, you mean? No way. The best team is not the Eagles in the NFL. The best team is not the Eagles. Ant says Dolphins got a better chance of winning the division. They do. They have 3 easy games and then a head-to-head game versus the Buffalo Bills. That will lock them up. Huffy, to the rescue. Eagles are the worst 10 teams, the worst 10-win team ever. They are fraudulent. David thinks the Eagles are a fraudulent team. We'll be talking about the Eagles toward the end of the show here. And I don't know what you want to say about them being a fraudulent team. The fact that they have not blown anybody out, the fact that they are 10-1, the fact that they just keep on winning all these games. Guys, the Eagles are the real deal. The Eagles are the real deal. David says, wasn't talking about you, but okay. Was talking to the gym guy, talking shit on your shirt. Okay, David. Okay. My bad, David. My bad. Hoffy, he wasn't talking shit on me. He said my face, it didn't look like somebody puked on my face. He was talking to Jim. Okay. My bad.
All right, then I'll take back the comment about he needs some grammar lessons, but right. It would help him.
You need to fix your microphone. It is terrible. I don't know what's going on. We got some major feedback.
How about now?
Yeah, there you go.
I was plugging in the phone line.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. So guys, the phone lines are open. So Ant says, who is your sleeper team to make the playoffs? Mine are the Rams. That's a great question, Ant, because the Rams looked very, very impressive last night, Hoffy. But the Rams won, what was it, 38-17 or 34-17? The Rams smoked the Arizona Cardinals. They kicked the Cardinals' asses. Listen, I said it earlier this season, back in June or July, when we first started to talk about the playoff picture and like everything. And I said, guys, do not sleep on the Rams. Do not sleep on the Rams. The Rams might be a team that can make a wild card push. However, I definitely jumped off that bandwagon really, really quick after they got beat down by the 49ers and Bengals and the Eagles and the Steelers and the Cowboys. I was like, oh, slow it down, baby. But looking at their schedule moving forward, they play the Browns, Ravens, Commanders, Saints, Giants, 49ers. They're sitting at 5 wins right now. They're going to need 4 of their last 5. Are they going to beat the Browns? Possibly. The Broncos did. Are they going to beat the Ravens? No. Are they going to beat the Commanders? Yes. Saints? Yes. Giants? Yes. 49ers? No. So the Rams are not a playoff team. No way whatsoever. A sleeper playoff team right now, guys, is going to be the Buffalo Bills, honestly. If the Buffalo Bills can get hot, yes, I did say no way that they were going to make the playoffs. But if they get hot and they win 4 or 5 games in a row, they could sneak into the playoffs. But if I really want to sit back here and think about it logically, it's going to be the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are a sleeper playoff team. Nobody thought they were going to make it. Right now, they're sitting at, I believe, is number 8 in the AFC playoff picture. And the Houston Texans are playing really, really good football. If their field goal would have made it, 6 more inches and went over the crossbar, we could have it be a totally different game. Hoffy, you like sleepers. You like sleeping around. Who is the sleeper pick of like your team? That wasn't a jab. It was just a joke. My bad.
I think you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, the Bills are right there. I mean, it's probably going to take minimum 9 wins, maybe even 10 to get into the playoffs. I just look at the Bills' schedule, though. They got the Chiefs coming up, and then they have the Cowboys after the Chiefs. Those are two. If they can win one of those 2 games, I think they win against the Chargers. They beat the Patriots because they've already lost once to the Patriots. They always split. And, that last game comes down to the Dolphins, which, I am a Dolphin lover this year, but, they beat the Dolphins down pretty good. So, and by that time, the Dolphins might have, the division locked up. They should at least. So, that might not be a game that they really show all their cards in and kind of give that one to the Bills. So I think the Bills could potentially make the playoffs and the Texans as well. I mean, they played real well yesterday. I think CJ Stroud, I think it's the first rookie quarterback to have 4 300-plus yard games. I mean, like you said, they lost by a field goal. Another team that we could throw in there, I think they're in the playoffs as of right now, but nobody would have thought this, especially after losing their starting quarterback, and that's the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, great point. Yeah, the Colts are sitting at, I believe it is 6 seed, 7 seed. But yeah, they are sitting out there. I think it's 5-6 or 6-5, whatever they are. So yeah, the Colts are squarely right now in the playoff as well. So yeah, Colts or Texans, yada yada yada. So Ant says, if the Bills do make the playoffs, do you guys think they can beat the Ravens or the Chiefs? Hoffy, I'll kick it to you this one first.
Sorry, I was trying to fix my mic. What was the question?
So if the Buffalo Bills do make the playoffs, can they beat a team like the Ravens or the Chiefs in the first round?
No. But they could beat the Miami Dolphins in the first round if that's who they play.
Yeah. So you are saying no, they cannot beat the Ravens or the Chiefs.
They will not beat the Ravens. They will not beat the Chiefs. No. I think they could beat any other team, but you have to factor in the Ravens or the Chiefs probably going to be that 1 seed. So yeah, they probably are going to be that 7 seed. So they're probably either going to be playing those Chiefs or the Ravens. So no, I think they'll be one and done.
Yeah. So listen, like I said earlier, in the way or no way, the Buffalo Bills are a team you do not want to let in the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills are a team that you can say, fuck around and find out. And if you let the Buffalo Bills into the playoffs and they do play the Ravens or the Chiefs, they might fuck around and find out. Yes, the Buffalo Bills can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, the Buffalo Bills can beat the Baltimore Ravens, but they have to make the playoffs first. They have to make the playoffs first, and the game cannot go into overtime because Josh Allen, Hoffy, is 0-6 in overtime games. I'm just tough.
I don't know that they can beat that Ravens defense. That Ravens defense is legit. I know the Chiefs have a real good defense, but I mean, I don't want to fuck around with that Ravens defense by any means.
Yeah, there are probably a couple defenses that I don't want to play. Steelers, Browns, and Ravens all in the AFC North. So that is tough. Very, very tough. All right, guys. So moving on to the next way or no way here. The Denver Broncos. What? Where did they come from? They have won 5 games in a row with wins over the Packers, which is a trending team up. Do not sleep on the Packers whatsoever. Then they beat the Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, Vikings, and last night they beat the Browns. They're currently 9th in the playoff hunt. So, guys, way or no way, can the Denver Broncos make a playoff push? The AFC is a very, very loaded division, guys. This division, at any point in time, if you can say the Texans are going to make the playoffs, I'd think, okay, sure. Then you say, oh, the Colts are going to make the playoffs. Sure. How about the Patriots? Well, no, because they're as bad. The Jets? Well, no, because they're just bad. But way or no way, are the Broncos going to make the playoffs? Sorry, Broncos fans, this is a no way.
Oh, come on.
This is a no way, because look at their schedule moving forward. They have a playoff matchup, possibly preview, when they travel down to Houston to take on the Texans. That is a loss. Then they play the Chargers at LA. They could probably beat the Chargers, but we don't know what Chargers
Absolutely
team
beat
is
the
going
Chargers.
to show up. But then they play the Detroit Lions. Then they play the Patriots on Christmas Eve. The Patriots are going to pull that one out. And then they play the
come
Chargers
on.
versus Raiders again. The Broncos' schedule is not very favorable in their opinion. In my opinion, I should say. So I'm going to say no way that the Denver Broncos are a playoff team. They'll be in the hunt until week 18, until they travel to Vegas and the Raiders whoop that ass. But they are not a playoff team. Hoffy, you seem to have a lot of words over there for some Bronco lover. Yeah, riding the ponies. Are the Broncos a playoff team?
34% chance to make the playoffs, but I mean, I think that this week is going to be a huge matchup. This week they play against, like you said, the Texans, and then they do, the Chargers. I think they win that game, and then they have the Lions. I think if they can beat either the Texans or the Lions, so if they win one of those two games, they could potentially win their other four. The Chargers twice, the Patriots should be an easy. I mean, Patriots are the first team to ever lose, 2 games in a row where they give up no more than 10 points. So they're a joke. And I think they can beat the Raiders because the Raiders by then are going to be out and they'll have nothing really to play for. So I think if the Broncos can either beat the Texans or the Lions, that they significantly increase their chances. And yes, they will make the playoffs if they can win one of those 2 games, because I think they'll win out, those remaining 4.
So you are telling me that this week's game versus the Houston Texans is a must-win game for the?
I would say it's a must-win because this game is going to be, this game is an easier game it's not an easy game by any means, but this is a more favorable matchup for them than I think going into Detroit and playing the Lions. But the Lions, they got beat by Green Bay. I mean, they lost to Seattle at home, so. It is doable. So, I mean, heck, if they can squeeze out both of those games, and that gives them the opportunity to maybe lose to the Chargers once or the Raiders in that last week. But I think the Broncos could definitely make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I don't see the Broncos sweeping the Chargers because for whatever reason, the Broncos cannot sweep anybody in the AFC West as of late. I mean, it could be because they're bad or just because the AFC West is actually that balanced, right? Just because if we look at the me as a Chiefs fan, last night I was watching that Raiders game, right? And the first half I'm like, man, we are going to lose this freaking game. The Broncos are beating the Browns. I mean, there could have been a point where the Broncos were half a game behind the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West standings because they had the head-to-head win, and then they would have 6 wins, and then the Chiefs would have had 7 wins. But unfortunately, guys, the Broncos are a team that got hot too early, right? Maybe they got hot a little too early. Yes, they've won 5 in a row. They were 5 big wins, but there is a letdown coming in in Denver. There is a letdown coming, whether it's to the Texans, whether it's to the Chargers, whether it's to the Lions. 3 road games, they're going to get tested, all 3 of those games. There's going to be a letdown coming, and then the world's going to be collapsing down because there's a huge Broncos fan in our chat all the time. Her name is Hannah Bear, and she's like, screw those Broncos, they suck, yada, yada, yada. And now all of a sudden they won 5 in a row and the bandwagon's back open, right? People are going to start jumping off those bandwagons really, really quick here. David says, dude, I'm looking for the man-hour psych help. Listen, man. David, as a Chargers fan, it's probably time for you guys just to find a new team. Like at this point, you need to switch over to like iPhone and root for the Raiders. Because
I was watching that game last night and I was thinking of David the whole time and how unfortunate. I mean, do you think this is the last year with Staley as a coach?
If it's not, something is wrong in like LA. Like they're just happy at being mediocre, like at this point. Because I believe
they have a great team on paper.
Yeah, and they still have Mike Williams, which is injured, right? Which he can't stay healthy for whatever reason. But when like he comes back next year, they do have a very dangerous team on paper. Like I don't understand, but Hoffy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I heard on the broadcast that the Chargers were the only team to lose 12 straight games in 3-point games or less since 2020.
I think, yeah, you're correct.
Crazy. Like, how can you just be on the wrong side of that coin that many times? Man, that just sucks. I mean, sorry, David, but dude, there's no help. The only thing I can say is get on Twitter, get on Facebook, hashtag fire Brandon now. Like, right?
You can't turn the ball over 4 times and expect to even be in the game. The fact that they were in the game,
right,
going into the last couple minutes of that game, only down by 3 points, is a miracle.
Yeah. So let's talk about that Chargers game. I don't have this down on the paper, so this is kind of shooting from the hip. But the Chargers, they had that game within firing all game long. What was it? 10-3 for the longest time, right? And finally they tied it. No, was it a tied game? No,
it was 10-3, then it was 13-3, and then they got it to a 3-point deficit. Yeah. So it was 13-10, and they had the chance to go down and get that game tying field goal.
Yeah, and Justin Herbert was getting sacked play after play after play, and the Chargers defense actually stepped up. We thought earlier this season when the Chargers traded J.C. Jackson to the Patriots that, like, hey, they're kind of just tanking the rest of the season. But that defense has stepped up, right? They are holding teams, kind of, right? I mean, yes, they gave up 41 to the Lions. They gave up 23 to the Packers, 31 to the Chiefs, 20 to the Cowboys. But their offense is scoring as well. Like, at this point, I don't know what is wrong with the Chargers. What is wrong with the Chargers? Maybe they just need to find their own stadium. Maybe it's the stadium mojo. Maybe they need to move back to San Diego. I don't know. Move to St. Louis, something. I don't know. I would hate to be a Chargers fan. Jump back in the chat here. Damn, Ant says, Broncos could definitely upset the Lions. Lions defense isn't that good. Y'all seen what my Ravens did to them? We did. We saw them blow the crap out of the Lions, like 5 weeks ago. But then he also says, I also think they could beat the Raiders. Russ got his confidence back and has been playing very good football. Russ has been playing good football all season long. What has happened is that defense is finally stepping up and actually getting turnovers, right? That defense is playing some good football. That's what it comes down to. Takeaways, not turning the ball over. Russ has been a good quarterback for the last 2 seasons. It just kind of hasn't flourished on the win side of things. Hoffy, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how Russell Wilson's been playing pretty good yesterday, not so much, but I mean, he was playing the number 1 defense in the Browns, but he only went 13 for 22 yesterday, 134 yards, but not turning the ball over. And that seems to be, when Russell, doesn't turn the ball over and does, because we see a lot of times when they go down, he wants to get all of those, all those points back in that one big play. And that's where he tends to hurt himself and his team. But even yesterday, only threw for 134 yards. But, the rushing attack yesterday was really what, the rushing is really what helped them yesterday get that win from, that home game or whatnot against Cleveland. But, yeah, as long as Russell doesn't turn the ball over, him and Sutton are starting to click, and Marvin Mims Jr. as well has been playing well. Javonte Williams, has been doing all right in the backfield, but as long as they, again, don't turn the ball over, I can see them, like I said, even winning both those games against the Texans and Detroit. So, I think they're a team that could potentially, as long as they're not in that 7 seed, whoever gets the 7 seed is one and done, because you're not beating the Chiefs, you're not beating the Ravens in week 1. But that 6 through 3 matchups, watch out for whoever is in those matchups. That's going to just be, a pick 'em.
How about this? What if we went on a ledge here and we said the Broncos do beat the Texans, the Broncos do beat the Lions, and then they beat the Chargers, all 3 road games, giving them 8 wins in a row. Are they all of a sudden the most dangerous team in the NFL? Are they all of a sudden the team that you do not want to play in the playoffs? Probably not. I still want to play Russell in the playoffs. I still want to play Sean Payton in the playoffs and the Broncos in the playoffs. It is all about getting hot at the right time. And like I said earlier, I think they're getting hot too early. They can it almost say that the Broncos need a pop in the mouth. They need to get beat down by the Texans or the Chargers or the Lions. No. They need to get beat down by a team that they're supposed to beat, like the Patriots. If they go in on Christmas Eve and the Patriots come into town and the Patriots beat them, that could be the blessing in disguise that the Broncos need to make a playoff push.
Patriots would be lucky if they put up 3 points against the Broncos.
Not if Bailey Zappi starting, baby.
Okay, 9 points.
No, rumor has it is that they're going to trade for Joe Flacco from the Browns. No, I'm kidding.
The Browns might be rolling with Joe Flacco. It looks like the Browns quarterback Robinson is hurt, so maybe it's shit. Watch out for Joey Flacco. We all know what he does in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, he does win Super Bowls with a great defense around him.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes. So we talked a little bit about the Broncos. We talked about the Bills. Now let's talk about arguably the best team in the NFL, and that is the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens did beat the Chargers last night 20-10 with a last-second touchdown to really seal the deal from Zay Flowers. But the Baltimore Ravens are not only clicking on defense, their offense is clicking, their special teams is clicking, and their coaching staff is going above and beyond. They're doing great things over there in Baltimore. So way or no way, guys, that's right, way or no way, are the Baltimore Ravens the best team in the NFL? When we look at the Baltimore Ravens, guys, their team is freaking good. Javi just said it. He said they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. And that is saying something with the defensive love, like how the Browns are playing, how the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing, how the Denver Broncos are playing right now, how the Kansas City Chiefs are playing right now. The Ravens have the best defense in the NFL, hands down. They have won 6 of their last 7 with wins over the Bengals when they were clicking, when the Chargers and the Seahawks and Cardinals, Lions and Titans. Oh my, right? Their only loss comes to a fluke loss versus the Cleveland Browns, and they still won they still lost 33-31. Guys, the Ravens are a really, really good team. The Baltimore Ravens are a team that I do not want to play in the playoffs as a Kansas City Chiefs fan. The Baltimore Ravens are a team that I do not want to let them win 1 or 2 playoff games. Because once they win 1 or 2 playoff games, I think the curse of Lamar Jackson is finally broken. And the way Lamar Jackson is playing right now, holy crap, hold my beer, this guy is damn good. Yes, you heard it from me. Lamar Jackson is a damn good quarterback right now. So I'm going to say
MVP front runner.
I'm going to say wait. The Baltimore Ravens are the best team in the NFL right now. Going into week 13, the Baltimore Ravens are better than the 49ers. They're better than the Detroit Lions. They're better than the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. No team out there right now can beat the Baltimore Ravens the way they are playing right now. This is a way. They are the best team in the NFL. And Hoffy, to answer your question, is Lamar Jackson MVP front runner? Absolutely. Absolutely. He is a lot more valuable to his team than Jalen Hurts, than Patrick Mahomes, than, Aaron Donald, whoever. Lamar Jackson is probably the MVP frontrunner right now. If I were to break it down, I would say Lamar Jackson and then Jalen Hurts and then Tua. What are your thoughts?
I don't think there is a definitive favorite in the NFL right now. I mean, you have the Chiefs, Baltimore, and San Francisco, all top three defenses. I mean, Cleveland's technically number 1, but if we're talking points per game, you have San Fran at 15, Baltimore and Kansas City both at 16. I mean, I'm going to get shit on because everybody loves to either shit on or love on the Cowboys, but even the Cowboys have a pretty stout defense when it comes to points per game. So, come playoffs, I do think that the Ravens, like you said, will be a tough out. I think the only team in the AFC that can beat them is the Chiefs. That is all dependent on if Patrick Mahomes, gets his wide receivers some stickum for that game. But I think that the head-to-head versus the 49ers, having Chase Young, Joey Bosa, you can lock up those edges, have Warner spy on Jackson and contain him into the pocket. But if you can contain Lamar Jackson and take away his dual threat, I think they're beatable. I think losing their tight end Andrews, right? Is that his name?
Yeah, Mark
I
Andrews.
think that's going. Yeah, I think taking away his safety blanket is going to be huge. Now we did see that rookie running back last night step up. Did great in the blocking game. Was able to sneak out on those checkdowns and whatnot, and bail out Lamar when they were able to close in on him and take away that running lane. But I think losing Mark Andrews is going to be a pretty big loss for the Ravens. But I think you have the Ravens, the Eagles, and the 49ers, and you can even throw the Chiefs in there, depending on how the wide receivers are on that day, are all right there for the best team in the NFL. So I think, and I think those four could potentially be, AFC Championship and NFC Championship games. So at that point, I think it's a pick 'em.
Yeah, and what has been the biggest knock of the Ravens in the last 5 years since Lamar Jackson has been the quarterback, hell, since John Harbaugh has been the coach, is the fact is they can't win playoff games. Now, you broke my narrative last week or 2 weeks ago. I believe you said that Lamar Jackson was like 11-4 in December or something, just like that. So it is like January and past that point, right? When you play games on Christmas Eve and past that, just like the Ravens kind of just forget how to do what they've been doing. And if they can have a game like they did versus the Chargers, where the offense did not show up and show out, where their defense kind of held their own, right? And locked down Keenan Allen and locked down Justin Herbert and like Austin Eckler, right? They locked them down all game long. Hell, I think at some point Keenan Allen had like 7 targets on 2 catches and going into the fourth quarter. It was something ridiculous, right? But the Baltimore Ravens can predicate on that defense and be a 2000 Ravens again and win despite an offense of struggle. And that's what Ant says. He says, we are the number 2 team in the NFL. I still need to see more out of our offense. I don't want to see any more out of your offense. As a Chiefs fan, I do not want to see Lamar Jackson get any better. I believe Lamar Jackson was the fastest player ever to get to 5,000 yards rushing. It was like 18 games faster than Mike Vick. Lamar Jackson is playing out of his freaking mind right now. He is the MVP front runner in my mind right now. But Ant, let me ask you this question. As a Ravens fan, what do you want to see more out of their offense? They have had one game where they scored below 20 points, and that was a Week 5 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. At the time, their defense was playing lights out, and you still scored 10 points. That was when the offense was still coming around. There hasn't been one game in the last 10 where you guys have scored below 20 points. 20 points. That is going to win you a lot of games. When your defense is pitching out 10-point games, 3-point wins, 20-point wins, the Ravens are a dangerous, dangerous team. And also says this is the best offense we've had since Lamar has been there. Moken deserves a lot of that credit too. Hoffy, do you think that the Baltimore Ravens need to show us more on the offensive side?
No, I think they've been quite all right, quite frankly. I mean, I think maybe they will show you more. Flowers is, a rookie, and he's really coming, he's been playing well all year. I'm not saying that he needs to step up, but he's only going to continue to progress. I mean, OBJ, come playoff time, I mean, we saw what he was doing in that Super Bowl before, tearing his ACL. So I don't know that they're going to be able to show more though with losing Mark Andrews. So I think what you're getting is what you would hope to continue to get from the Baltimore Ravens, and I think anyone would take that. Myself as a New England fan, I'd take half of that.
Right.
You know, averaging like 3 points a game right now, but I think I think if they continue to play how they have, the defense they have, they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah, there's a couple teams that I don't want to play as a Kansas City Chiefs guy going into the playoffs, and the Ravens are the first team that comes to mind in the AFC Championship game. But Hoffy, there is a Monday night game happening tonight. We do have the Chicago Bears sitting at 3-8, playing the Minnesota Vikings at 6-5. If you guys remember, the Vikings were a team that was hot, won 5 in a row, and then they lost a heartbreaker to the Denver Broncos, and then they had a bye week, and now they're coming off and playing the Chicago Bears. The Vikings are in a very heated battle in the playoff hunt in the NFC, and they played the teams like the Raiders coming up, the Bengals, Lions, Packers, and Lions to end the season. So, guys, way or no way are the Minnesota Vikings a playoff team? Man, Hoffy, I feel like no matter what I say about the Vikings, I'm going to be wrong, because the Vikings seem to disappoint you or surprise you every stretch of the imagination.
I agree with you.
If the Vikings lose to the Bears, they may not win another game the rest of the season. Now, if the Vikings beat the Bears, they may not lose another game for the rest of the season. Way or no way, Hoffy?
I agree with you.
Let me ask you first. Way or no way are the Vikings a playoff team?
Can I waffle around this?
100%, because I am. It's tough.
Shit, if Joe Burrows was still healthy, they wouldn't be beating the Bengals. They got to play the Lions twice, and they got to play, the Packers. They've already beat the Packers once. I mean, most of the time you're going to be lucky to split with them, never mind sweep them. So, yeah, they have to beat tonight's game is going to tell all. They lose tonight, it's absolutely 100% over. But if they can win tonight, kind of gain back that momentum from their, was it a 4-game winning streak? 5-game winning streak. Yeah. So if they can get back, win again today, win against the Raiders, win against the Bengals, they go into Detroit on a 3-game winning streak, confidence high. I mean, I think right now they're in the 7th spot for the playoffs. So right now, technically, they're in the playoffs. The NFC isn't as strong as the AFC. I mean, you have the Cowboys. They're a definite wild card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the Eagles coughing that one up. The Giants are 4-8. They're not gonna be there. You have the Seahawks at 6-5. You got Vikings 6-5. The Packers at 5-6. I mean, I guess it comes down to really. I don't think the NFC South is going to produce a team. Right now you have the Saints at 5-6. I think my prediction of the Saints winning the NFC South is gone with the win.
Mine too.
So I think maybe, yeah, I think it could come that 7 seed could come down to that Vikings Packers game. That could be the game that decides who is that 7 spot. So I guess I'll say ask me that question after they play the Packers.
Right. So John says, nope, the Vikings are not a playoff team. What's up, John? Good morning to you, good sir. Ant says, no way. The Detroit, the Packers have a slight better chance than they do. And then Jim, with the best answer of the day, says the Vikings need to be waffled. A perfect example of who knows. So when I look at the Minnesota Vikings right now, they are a team, exactly Jim says, who knows? Let's say they do beat the Chicago Bears tonight, which they should. They're at home, Monday Night Football. But the Chicago Bears are a team that looked better last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever the last time that they played. And then they travel to Vegas. They play a Raiders team that the Raiders have looked really, really good with their new coach. They're battling what they won 2 games in a row. They battled to the Chiefs till the 4th quarter. And then the Bengals, Who knows about the Bengals? Is Jake Browning going to finally settle in into that offense? Then the Lions, right? Who really knows about the Lions? I mean, are they going to sweep Vikings? Who knows? And then they play a Packers team that has won 3 of their last 4, playing a lot better than the last time they played, what, like week 7, week 8? The Packers are playing a lot better football. So if I, with a gun to my head right now, I'm going to say no way. I don't think the Vikings are a playoff team. If I had to put money on a team right now, that's right, if I had to put money on a team from the NFC North to make a wild card, it would be the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are a team that's playing really, really good football right now. The reason why they struggled earlier this season, because they were so freaking young. The Packers are the youngest team in the NFL. Not on offense, not on defense, not in receiver, not at quarterback. They are the youngest team in the NFL. Jordan Love is technically a rookie quarterback. They have a lot of second-year wide receivers. They're coming into their own. They're starting to understand the NFL game. If I had to pick a team to make a wild card from the North, it would be the Packers. I don't think the Vikings are it this season. And also says Jordan Love is going to be the best quarterback in that division next year. Facts. Jordan Love is going to be better than Jared Goff, better than Kirk Cousins, better than Justin Fields or Tyson Bagent. It doesn't matter. Jordan Love is going to be the guy.
I think if the Vikings still had Kirk Cousins, they would be an absolute, way to make the playoffs. But you don't know what you're going to get from your quarterback. I mean, he can have a game where you're like, wow, this is, this guy makes some Patrick Mahomes like plays, and then you can have some games where it's like, what the hell is he doing? So, right. But yeah, like you said, I mean, the Packers, they're coming on strong. This is the same thing that they did last year with Aaron Rodgers. They had a losing record at, the midpoint of the season. They had to rattle off a bunch of games, and it came down to week 17 against the Lions, winning you're in, and they lost, and Seahawks also won or whatever it was, so that the Lions ended up missing it too. But staying in the NFC North, after watching the Lions play the Bears, and by the skin of their teeth getting that at the end of the game, which they absolutely, if the Bears knew what they were doing or could close out a game, that's a W. And then they lost to the Packers on Thanksgiving. So, that's 2 games in a row they could have lost. They lost, to the Packers. So are you concerned with the Detroit Lions at all?
I am concerned that the Lions are getting complacent. I am concerned that they're getting full, right? They are 8-3. They are a top team. I believe like they're second or third in the NFC playoff picture right now. But they kind of went on a stretch where they thought they could just like skate through, right? When they played the Ravens and they played the Chargers and the Bears, and they're just kind of just skating through. This is the issue that you have with the Detroit Lions, right? Is like they are playing like a team that has been there and done that. Dan Campbell has never been to the playoffs. Many of these Detroit players have never been to the playoffs. They are acting like they can flip a switch and get hot at any point of the time. And when you look at the Lions' schedule moving forward, they do play the Saints. A Saints team that is still, I still think they're still first in the NFC South, if I'm not mistaken. But
they're tied, but they lost to Atlanta yesterday, so Atlanta's got the tiebreaker right now. But they play again week 17, so it could come down to that game.
So basically, like at any point in time, the Saints can get hot again and be a Super Bowl contender, like many people thought they were earlier in the season. And then they play a Broncos team that's up and coming, right? They've won 5 in a row. And then the Vikings, right? They have won 5 in a row at one point in the season. And then they play the Cowboys. It would not surprise me if the Lions get a stretch where they lose 2 or 3, 4 games in a row. They lose to the Packers, Saints, Bears, and Broncos in the next 4 weeks. It would not surprise me one bit. But that would be a blessing in disguise for them. Now, if they rattle off, wins like over the Vikings and the Cowboys and the Broncos, I think they're a first round exit, no matter who they play. Just because, like I said, I think they're satisfied of being just in the talk, right? Like they don't seem hungry. They don't seem mean, obviously Thanksgiving 11 o'clock game sucks, right? But that game, they just seem like they're like wore out, like it almost seemed like. Jim says the Detroit had it. They're losing it. They better find it. Very, very true. John says it's Goff. He's been looking like he's been shaving points. Oh my God. Did you hear this story, Hoffy? So my dad is a huge Detroit Lions fan, right? I believe it was when they were playing the Chicago Bears, when they were down like 14 points or 12 or like 12 points. There is a story out there that Jared Goff was shaving points because those 3 interceptions that he threw versus the Bears, they're right at him, like right at the Bears defenders. And people are trying to pull straws out of a hat, and they're thinking that Jared Goff was shaving points. Like, this is like some longest yard shit, right? Like, come on, guys. They were down 12 points. There was no way they were shaving points to the Chicago Bears. Jesus, get out of here with that crap.
Yeah, fans want him investigated for it.
Yeah, I was like,
we got an NBA Tim Donahue or whatever the guy's ref was.
Like my dad and I got into like a heated argument about it. I'm like, look, shut your damn mouth. There's no freaking rigging or point shaving. Of course, like my dad was being a master troll that he is. But I was like, man, get the hell out of here. Ant says, in the past 2 games, Loves has thrown 5 touchdowns and no picks. Hopefully he can keep it up because the beginning of the season, he was throwing a lot of picks. He was also forcing the ball a lot. Jordan Love was trying to live in Aaron Rodgers' shadow, right? And I actually saw some stat where they actually have the same exact winning percentage as starters, right? So Jordan Love just needs to get out of Brett Favre's shadow, out of Aaron Rodgers' shadow, and be his own man. But Hoffy, that's going to be it for today's show, man. Hour flies by when you're having fun. Got to get little man off the bus. Cindy thinks she needs to go eat breakfast with her friends. Jeez, get out of here with that crap. Who do you got tonight? Browns or Vikings?
It's not the Browns tonight.
Or sorry, Bears Vikings. I'm sorry, Bears Vikings.
I want to pick an upset and go with the Bears, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm going to go with the Vikings.
You know, I am going to take the upset, and I do like the Bears. I think Justin Fields is going to play at an MVP level.
I like it. I do like it. I'm glad you have some balls because I don't.